is Hope at Crafty Hope, and I am working on ICAD cards 16, 17, and 18 in this video. And ICAD is done by Daisy Yellow. I'll have all the information about ICAD below in the description box. And basically, you take an index card and alter it, and the ICAD means index card a day. And I'm using 4x6 index cards, and each day, Tammy from Daisy Yellow Hat gives us prompts, and for card 16 the prompt was chandelier. And when I think of a chandelier as a jewelry artist, I always think of chandelier crystals. I think of um, faceted glass and sparkle and all of that, and kind of a diamond design. So I found a little cutout from an old calendar that says diamonds are made under pressure, and so I knew I wanted that as my focal for this card. And so I was kind of working with that, and I put down some book text and just kind of glued that to be just in the background on top of the card. And then I don't know, I was trying to do something with the orange and the turquoise, and then this like beigey brown, and I don't know, it just was not coming together. So you see there, I've got it all down. I put it down with a paintbrush and with my fingers, and used a like a scraping tool, and there's that picture, that focal I'm going to use. So while I put aside that disaster of colors over there to the side, go ahead and cut out um, that focal image, and decide that in that focal image there's kind of a corally peachy color, and maybe I should kind of veer my card toward that. So I took out this the salmon color that I have, and just kind of scraped that straight onto the card and covered up all of that craziness that was going on underneath. I did try to use a I think that's a chopstick to scrape into the card, but that didn't really do a whole lot of anything. And for a little bit of contrast, I brought that turquoisey back in. Now, since the paint's still wet, it just kind of blends into the background. It doesn't pop like you would think turquoise would, and that's fine. I just needed a little something other than that salmon color on there. Now, like I said, I was kind of focused on the diamondy aspect of chandelier crystals for this one, so I found this Harlequin, what is that called? Stencil from Tim Holtz that has like diamond shapes all in it. So I used that brown again and put that on the card. And then I got into my hand carved stamps, and I have a diamond shape there. And I'm just using a black ink pad to stamp on a couple of those diamond shapes on there. I'm really just rolling with the whole diamond idea here. So once all that's on there, I'm messing around with the placement of my little focal image. I'm going to ink around it so it stands up a little bit on the card. And I'm just using a cosmetic sponge and that same ink pad. Now I've got these see-through crystal things that I picked up at a yard sale. They're from Tulip, so that probably means that they're meant for like clothes. But I'm going to put them on this iCAD. So I decided to go ahead and ink up around the outside of the card while I had that cosmetic sponge sitting there and ready, because I do like to frame up my cards. And while I'm thinking on everything, I go and grab, that is an orange, like a dark orange ink tints. Is that ink tints? I guess it's a watercolor pencil, Derwent. And go around a couple of the right side, kind of add a little orange shadow to some of those stenciled diamonds that are on there. And then I've got some sparkle tape. Now this is like a washi tape. It's just a decorative tape, but it's not really a paper tape, and it's glittery. This is a silver glittery, and I am just adding some of that sparkle that diamonds and chandeliers have onto my card. So I'm just tearing it in random shapes and putting it around there. And I really like it layered right behind that focal image to help it grab your eye quite a bit. And that's where I also decide I'm going to put those little flat back crystal things. Now these are just little plastic crystal-y things, and I'm going to glue them down with some glossy accents, but first I decided to glue down my focal image, and I had a little trouble getting it to stick. That super glossy paper from the calendar made it kind of tough. So, and now I'm trying to use my glossy accents. Now y'all, this stuff at the hardest time getting it out of the bottle. You see, I've got a straight pin there that I'm sticking in there and trying to open it up and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and it just won't come out. And so I get the straight pin again. And with the Glossy Accents, it's great as a sealer and as a glue. And I'm definitely using it as a glue because it dries perfectly crystal clear. And sorry for the ums. It's working perfect here to get those couple little crystals down. And I decided to go ahead and try to leave a straight pin in the Glossy Accents to maybe keep that airway open so I won't have as much trouble next time. And I'm going back again. Well, no, I didn't get back again. I thought I was going to add some more orange, but I didn't. I left it as it is, and I think it's perfect. It's not exactly, don't get chandelier from it, but I know where I was going with it. So that was card number 16, and we're about to move on to card 17, which I really love. Now, card 17, the prompt was bench or wood, and I decided to go with the wood idea, specifically the woods, like a forest. Now, back in May, Art Elements had a theme challenge that was the forest was the theme, and I chose to do something else. But I had this idea initially, and I collected some of the supplies, but just didn't get around to really carrying it through. So I thought this is the perfect time to try it. Now, what I've put onto my 4x6 card is a wood scrapbook paper. Now, it's more wood than scrapbook paper. It's like a veneer. And but it cuts really nicely. So I just glued that down with some matte gel medium onto my card and trimmed away the excess. And now, as you see, I've got a bunch of, those are paint swatches that you can get from any old hardware store or Walmart or whatever. And I picked up a bunch of green, shades of green. And I'm cutting out like treetop shapes, triangles for pine trees and more. Anyway, you get the idea. Tree shapes. And just cutting those straight out of those paint swatches. Guys, this is such a simple design that I hate that I'm even having to explain what I'm doing here. But I love how this comes together. I am laying these out just kind of overlapping each other because what I've decided to do is to use some foam here in a minute, some of the double-sided foam and I can't remember what it's called, but it's those stickers that give dimension. And maybe they're dimensional stickers or I don't know. But first I'm going to glue down for the background a couple of these shapes just to fill in the background a little bit, some of these treetop shapes. And then I put away my matte gel medium, but then I realized I need, trunks for all of my trees. So I pull that back out, and it worked out that some of what I put down the grain of the wood, I guess, runs opposite, perpendicular to what the grain is on the card background, so it stands out, and that's fantastic. And so I'm gluing all of that down with that matte gel medium, but I'm gonna come in with the those just, I don't even know what they're called. They're like foam square double-sided stickers, and that's what I'm sticking down the rest of the trees with. And it works beautifully. It's super quick, easy. So those treetops are going down with it, and then I'll cut down those foam stickies and put them on the back of just little slivers of the wood to make the trunks for those other trees. So super easy card, super easy process. I absolutely love this card. Because, like I said, it was an idea I had before and just didn't get a chance to do it. So this ICAD totally gave me the opportunity to do it. So let me know what you think. is yearbook. And I got kind of excited about this one because both in high school and in college, I was on the yearbook staff. So I've got a huge attachment to yearbooks. I've been collecting them for years when I find them at like yard sales and thrift stores and stuff like that. Because I just, like I said, it's a sentimental attachment to the whole process of creating a yearbook. So I took a couple pages from some of my collection to use for this, and I'm just cutting out like some of the wordy parts to go in the background. Now there's some of the names off there on the side, and here's like a description with some more of the names that's going to go on this far right side. And I'm just gluing that down with a new Who glue stick and trimming away the excess with my scissors. And once that's done, I decide the yearbook pages are always really glossy, and I kind of wanted to take away a little bit of that gloss to make it easier to work on. So I grabbed my brayer and a little bit of beige paint. What is that? Just acrylic paint. I think I used that in card 16 at the beginning, that same color of beige paint. And I just brayered that on there. It gives it a little age, a little something something. And then I've got a red neo color too. I'm using red because working on yearbook, I got a lot of edits from my yearbook teacher in high school, Miss Sawyer. I have a lot of great memories of working with her and all that, but she was a stickler that everything had to be done right. So there's my red in there for her edits. And then I'm just taking a couple different colors of pen and I don't know, mimicking what would be like signatures in a yearbook. I didn't sign anything, actual names or anything like that. Just give you the vague idea of a yearbook that's been signed. And now I'm dipping into some of those pictures of people, and I just pick out a strip of three. I guess I could have just done one, but I really wanted to carry through that idea of a yearbook, lots of pictures. So I just picked three random in a line, so you still have that yearbook feel. And I'm going into what is that? My Tim Holtz chit chat stickers or small talk stickers or whatever they are, to find something. But I decided to go ahead and skip over and get my little photo strip of people down. And I'm going around it with a Stabilo all pencil and a wet paintbrush just to kind of blend it and make it stand up a smidge. I love that grunginess that a Stabilo all pencil gives you. And then I go back into my Tim Holtz stickers, and I end up picking out the phrase, "There's nothing like a dream to create the future." And I really love that for the idea of yearbook, because when you have a yearbook, it's going to be young people that are high school, college age, that have this dream of the future and what they are going to create with it and how they're going to change it. And granted, the people that are in the pictures that I put here are probably much older than me at this point, but they had a dream. They've created the future, and that future is probably now. So once I get done with that, I inked around the outside of the card to frame it up, and that was really it. So I hope you enjoyed this set of three ICADs. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the materials or steps that I used or anything really. And make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe and all that. And I appreciate so much that you came by and took the time to watch. Thanks, guys. Bye.